The Federal and SR Public Welfare Trust present the Pudukkottai Marathon 2025. This event is co-presented by Rupee Apex Group of Companies on Sunday, August 3.
Welcome to this exclusive conversation on the Federal. Today we speak to Mohib-ul-Hasan Chowdhury, the former Education Minister of Bangladesh and once a key figure in the Awami League central leadership. Now Mr. Chowdhury joins us to reflect on the dramatic collapse of the Sheikh Hasina-led government and also to talk about the Awami League, his personal journey through arguably one of the turbulent times Bangladesh has ever seen. Mr. Chowdhury, thanks a lot for talking to the Federal. Thanks a lot for connecting. But Mr. Chowdhury, I would like to ask you first question straight up. From your political lens, from your political knowledge, I would like to know from your end, what is your current reading of the Bangladeshi crisis?
As you have already mentioned that the country is going through arguably one of its most turbulent time in terms of its constitutional makeup, in terms of its ideological standing. The country is at crossroads at the moment. The values on which the country's foundation was based on are now totally being rejected by those who are illegally occupying the power positions. All the constitutional infrastructure, including physical infrastructures, which embodied the spirit of the 1971 war, and also the struggle for freedom prior to that, during the time of Pakistan from 1947 onwards, are also being dismantled. So it is an all-out attack on the country's entire existentialist basis. So I would say it is an attempt to rebrand the country, recreate its history.
So let's also talk about the elections part now. Now, if elections proceed as per schedule, and now what stands with the Awami League, or rather its leadership will adopt, and will the party loyalists be encouraged to participate, or will there be a call for resistance?
See, Awami League as a political party had always been in favor of taking part in elections. So Awami League has always been a party of election. This is their fear, because the small clique of Yunus gang, I call it a gang because they have no institution, they have no registered politics. Even the party that they're flouting on the street right now, those who are holding protests in favor of the government against the Awami League, do not have any registration as a political party. As part of some sort of a geopolitical move, certain power elements beyond our country's border played their game very well to oust a legitimate government and place them in position in order to completely annihilate, completely demolish the party's infrastructure from the grassroots to the top. They have lost, because of these activities that they have been doing, they've lost credibility regionally and internationally. But this is their fear, because all the surveys that they're doing, the public opinion surveys, including the ones being done by international agencies who are aligned with them, are reflecting that people's opinion on the party, our party, Awami League, has shifted dramatically. I should mention this here. Bangladesh in its entire history did not have an election where individuals voted for themselves directly through identification of the individual. So most of the elections prior to 2008 were elections held peacefully, but there were double, triple voting counts. An individual was registered in 5 different places. We have evidence where they have hired artificial intelligence based content makers in countries like Pakistan. AI-based contents on social media can create completely opposite narrative to what the reality is, right? So they were doing all of that. They were killing people on the ground. It was a wholesome package, and it couldn't have been done without external support. And certain countries weren't very happy in the way government was being ran in Bangladesh, where I don't want to name, of course, any country, but the relationship that Bangladesh had or still has or will be having under the leadership of our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina with our best friend in the region, which is India, this loons, this gang of anarchists, I would say, have been running a lot of propaganda out from abroad and agitating the young people and misleading them. And now people realize what they have done and what they have fallen for. A completely fake package of misinformation, disinformation, and rumors in order to bring about fall of the most successful government in the country's history.
The interim Bangladeshi government has formally banned the Awami League in March 2025. Now, what does this mean actually to you and to many other Awami leaders, both operationally and symbolically?
You see, Awami League was banned in the past as well, but the ban could not succeed. And this party is not just an ideological organization. It is a concentration of emotions of those who have lost their loved ones over the years. Our father of the nation's entire family was brutally killed in 1975. So you have this memory of brutal killings and the emotions that concentrated over the years. And it is not just an ideological fight, it is a personal fight for many of us. Now, Awami League is a secular political party. The narrative against it is that, the secularism of Awami League means that they are an atheist political party who wants to bring about European-style, atheistic political philosophy and establish it in Bangladesh. And they want to dilute the jihadi Islamic spirit and destroy that mental makeup, the collective psychology, which is a deterrent against a powerful neighbor like India. I mean, that is the narrative that is being fed by the ultra-religious right political commentators and demagogues sitting abroad. So they want to harness and harvest this spirit of religiosity, which is fanaticism, which is communalism, which is a threat to global peaceful human existence. So Bangladesh is not just a regional challenge. Bangladesh has become an international challenge, and which is why Awami Leaguers, the activists from the rank and file, feel that we owe it to not just ourselves, but also to the global humanity, that if in that country, if we don't work towards re-establishing peaceful secular democracy, Bangladeshi, the diaspora abroad, whether it is in India or Malaysia or in United Kingdom, there is a danger that the ISIS, which existed in the Levantine region between Syria and Lebanon and the Iraqi areas, will eventually find another region within India in Bangladesh. Because the way the current government is now running its law and order operations to its policies, it's outright refusing to acknowledge that Bangladesh ever had any terrorists. I mean, we have seen how Gulshan attack has happened. We have seen how across the country during the BNP Jamaat government, in every district, explosions were, they exploded IEDs across the country. So, terrorism is a threat that is there in every district, in every nook and corner of the country. So we have to understand and appreciate the reality of it. And if we don't, not only we will cease to exist, but the region will collapse into complete chaos. So we feel that this ban is, of course, not going to work. We are organized, but we are, at the moment, for strategic reason, we are almost pushed to the underground.
Now, Mr. Chowdhury, is there any indication that Sheikh Hasina intends to return to Bangladesh? That's my first question. And face trial, or do you believe that she will continue her political and legal resistance from abroad? What are your thoughts on this topic?
A camera trial is not a trial. An illegal tribunal is not a tribunal. Therefore, there is no reason for her to submit herself to tribunal. I mean, the entire trial process is a farce. The lady herself has faced trial in the past, during the 2007-8 time, when another caretaker government was in charge in the country. But the legal judicial process worked. When things work, when constitution is there in place, why wouldn't I submit myself to the law? There's no reason for not doing so. So right now you are not existing in the eye of the law. You are absconding. You are a non-existent entity. Why would you want to live like that perpetually, away from your own country, which you had ran for 15 years and served there? So any day when this camera trial in the kangaroo court that they're holding this drama, where they're holding this drama, ends its criminal judicial process, unlawful, illegal judicial process, we will submit ourselves to the law. And she is not someone who will hide from the law. There's no reason for her to. She knows the processes. She's a seasoned politician.
Right. So let's bring the focus onto you, Mr. Chowdhury. Now, as reports say that you too are facing charges, and that too in your home country. Now, have you personally or on an individual basis thinking about returning to Bangladesh to confront those allegations in the court, or what's your statement on this?
You see, stories about my alleged illegal activities were in the media, and I have tried to contact those who reported this in the media, and absolutely fake information, absolutely fake facts were out there published, and no comment or response was taken from me. I have read about me that apparently I have 42 bank accounts. As far as I know, I have one bank account and my wife has one. So two bank accounts in the family. And my two daughters, they have two small, student account for the children. Except for these four, I don't know where this rest of these 40 accounts have come from. So they have ran this concocted, this story, this lie in the media, but have not given us any opportunity to see the evidence against us. Then there's this news on me where apparently accounts linked with me had 141 crore takas worth of transaction. So through my contacts, through my lawyers, I've contacted the authority and asked, where is this 131 or 41 crore coming from? And they were like, oh, we don't know ourselves. We couldn't conduct any inquiry ourselves. We couldn't do any investigation. We were prescribed to file a case against you. So it was a case prescribed to file, and they've done it.
Absolutely, Mr. Chowdhury. Now, let's take you back to those final chaotic days of the Awami League government. I mean, like you have already explained that in detail, but I would like to hear, or rather a deep dive into this. Can you walk us through the experience during that period of upheaval? And also, what were the decisions that were made internally, and that by means did you perceive that the writing was on the wall for the Awami League and for its ministers?
You see, at the very beginning, the protests were taken as they were on the face of it. What was being projected out to the public was that it was an innocent demand for jobs and quota removal. So we had accepted them as they were. And as they became violent and as people started to die, we took the conscious political decision that instead of defending in the manner in which usually political fights happen in the country, we will not take part in making the situation worse. So we were scaling down. If we had decided to scale up and defend our government, Awami Leaguers were enough in number to crush this so-called protesters, and the elements which were killing people within the protesting masses. We had the physical might, the capacity, and the government on our side, but we didn't want to do that. We didn't want to make it into a bloodbath. We, at the cost of our own citizens' lives, we didn't want to cling on to power because we believe that the society and the country should realize who are behind this particular movement. So we let it go. However, we gave the responsibility to the army and the police and the border guards who were in charge of defending Dhaka from any kind of violence. But what had happened thereafter was that, in fact, declarations such as "no one will be stopped from doing anything," I have given instruction to all the defense personnel not to fire at anybody. I mean, such proclamations, such declarations had led to emboldening of the elements which were hell-bent on destroying us. And across the country, overnight, began a cycle of violence and purge, from rape to arson to killing, murders, and whatnot. That's when it all ensued. And I think mistakes were made on both sides where things could have been managed in a more peaceful way. And the elements which had supported these extremists, which is quite clear from United States President Mr. Donald Trump to many others in the Western world who were fueling this, which authorities were pumping in green bills into this movement. It's absolutely clear now. So, but then they themselves didn't have a contingency plan. You overthrow a regime, but you must also take the responsibility of the post regime consequences. You have to have your government in place, or at least the plan should be there. What we have gone through, we have learned from it. We are not seeking for revenge. We had the whole party had gone through a lot of trauma and destruction and death, which we have witnessed from our childhood. But this time, when you see it as a mature individual, you take a different lesson out of it. When you are a child and are not of good enough political experience, your learning is different. But this time, we've seen it, we've witnessed it, and we will structure our future journey according to the learnings that we have achieved over this particular incident.
So Mr. Chowdhury, thanks a lot for offering us your candid reflections and also your unfiltered perspectives on a moment of great uncertainty for Bangladesh and its political institutions. As the interim government charts its course and the Awami League confronts existential questions, your voice, whether one of defense, dissent, or introspection, adds a critical texture to the unfolding narrative. We'll continue to follow the developments in Dhaka and beyond. Until next time, thanks a lot for watching The Federal.